What do you mean? Elaborate on that.
I could talk about that. Green does not just mean the initial construction of the building. The initial construction of the building costs about 15 to 20% of the overall cost of the building during its whole lifetime. So you have to institute measures and procedures for operating and maintaining that building. And this is where the green concept comes in and flows, not just from the construction, but during the operations and maintenance of the building.
Measures like what?
Measures like proper preventive maintenance, and going beyond preventive maintenance, like predictive maintenance, right? Where you just do things at a particular time. You do things when it is required to be done. So you save on your resources, you save on your spare parts that have to be stocked up, and all these things will impact upon the efficiency of running the building.
I think people would, what you're saying sounds very good, but I think people want to know in a concrete way, what do I do? Do I take off my air conditioning? Air conditioning units, for instance, they're the biggest use of energy, especially in our office buildings. We live in a tropical country. What can you do to reduce the amount of energy we use on that, for instance?
Well, the first step with saving energy with regards to air conditioning is, again, adopt a culture of being conservative. If you a basic AC unit has a thermostat that gives controls on the AC unit. If you utilize the thermostat, you set it properly to get the level of comfort you need, and switch it off when you're leaving the room, you save energy there. A lot of people have AC units running constantly 24/7, and that is the biggest culprit for utilizing energy. If you only have it 5 hours a day when you really need it, there's a lot of energy you save there.
And when we come back, I want to also talk about conserving water. We need to take a short break. We'll be right back with more on this environmental series on CNC3. Welcome back to the final segment of Cleaning Up the Mess. Gentlemen, in the 2010 budget, the government is advocating the use of solar energy for water heaters. Will this work in TNT? What about rainy days when you probably want to use the water heater the most?
Water heater, there's always a certain amount of sunlight coming through, even on cloudy days. And they've shown that this is more than sufficient for keeping your water heated for domestic purposes.
So you think the solar way is the way to go?
Yes, they've been trying that for a long time at UWI, and I think now is the time now that we have gotten government backing for that.
Devinand, final thoughts. What do you think needs to be done to get both government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago to buy into these ideas?
One thing, education. Our organization, Green Building Council, is embarking on a marketing strategy whereby we intend to educate the entire public on strategies whereby they could save energy, they could save water at their own homes. Right?
Quick examples for saving water.
Saving water. On the market right now that's available, there are faucets, there are shower heads that are aerated that release less water, but you have the same feeling that you're getting the same amount of GPM while you're actually getting less. It serves the same purpose. Urinals, toilets, there are special toilets over there that utilize less water and still does the job. It's just a different design of bowl and the aeration system. And the beauty about it is that it is available at reasonable prices, and it's even very comparable to the normal inefficient fixture. So, I mean, because of mass production and technology availability, it's very affordable to each and every one within the public.
So it's cheaper, it's better for our environment, and hopefully it looks pretty as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And that's where we wrap up. I want to thank our guests again, Devinand Ragbir and Ramdeo Maharaj, both engineers. Our letter of the week comes from Caroline Taylor, who wrote to us by way of feedback on our Facebook pages on government's plan to start a feasibility study on recycling. Caroline writes, if government puts in place systems for us to separate our plastics, glass, paper and biodegradable waste into separate piles, we need quality education programs to get it going. Perhaps these can be sponsored by corporate partners with tax incentives if need be. When it comes to recycling, our people just need to do it, she says. It's simple enough and works worldwide. We also need a program of tax or other incentives for companies and individuals to make their homes and practices more green. Tax breaks for installing solar heating on private buildings and homes, for converting toilets to ones that consume less water, for converting appliances to energy efficient ones. Great ideas, Caroline. We hope the government and private sector is listening. The good news about building green is that toxic substances are not released into the environment. The other good news, according to environmental psychologists, is that living green actually makes people in homes and in their workplace happier. Well, we've said it before, we'll say it again. There's been a draft of a bill that deals with the recycling of beverage containers since 2000. It's been gathering dust. The government of Trinidad and Tobago over the past 10 years has failed to enact any legislation that deals with recycling from manufacture to purchase to disposal. Citizens must know where to dispose and how. The people of Trinidad and Tobago eagerly look forward to government's waste management legislation, enforcement, and a proper waste separation plan. Please continue to care. Send in your comments, suggestions, and photos on our environment to cleaningupthemess@guardian.co.tt. Join our dynamic Facebook page, which has nearly 1,000 fans. A reminder also that Carib Glass wants your bottles for cash. Call them on 662-223-127, extension 286 and 327. In the meantime, I urge you not to litter, to recycle your glass, paper and plastics as much as you can, and work towards creating a cleaner, greener and more beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. This is CNC3. I'm Ira Mathur. Have a great Sunday.